Today we are here to share the results of Project Burton, a 6-month-long multi-jurisdictional firearms investigation that has led to the arrest of 32 individuals, resulting in 184 charges being laid and the seizure of 16 illegal firearms. As the Chief of Police, it's my duty to ensure the safety and well-being of every member of our community. Today I want to emphasize our ongoing commitment to taking illegal firearms off of our streets. These weapons, in the wrong hands, pose a significant threat to the safety of our neighborhoods and to the lives of our citizens. Our officers are working tirelessly to combat gun violence, and we have already made significant strides in reducing the number of illegal firearms in circulation. Through enhanced patrols, community partnerships, and targeted enforcement operations, we are making our streets safer one day at a time. Outside of Project Burton, our officers have taken another 50 illegal firearms off of our streets, 18 of them by our frontline uniform officers just this year. Since 2022, our service has seized more than 420 crime guns, a staggering statistic. Now I'll provide an update on Project Burton. In January of 2024, members of the Durham Regional Police Service's Gun and Gang Unit, alongside our partner agencies, began Project Burton investigation into suspected gang activity within Durham Region. This investigation focused on a group of individuals who call themselves 2230. The origin of the name 2230 stems from a double homicide that occurred at the Boulevard Bar and Restaurant on Simcoe Street North in Oshawa on June 25th of 2022. The victims of this homicide were Joshua Cornell Wong, also known as 22, and Jaheim Spence, also known as G30. Investigators believe the name 2230 was in dedication to them. This group resides predominantly in North Oshawa on Simcoe and Winchester area. They were suspected of being involved in the possession and trafficking of illegal firearms, drug distribution, and various fraud schemes. Their criminal activities stretch well beyond Durham Region, reaching as far as British Columbia. Members of the group have flaunted their illicit earnings on social media, glorified a culture that celebrates financial success through criminal activity. Project Burton concluded with the arrest of 32 individuals, resulting in 184 criminal charges. The charges these individuals are facing include firearms trafficking, illegal possession of weapons, cocaine and fentanyl trafficking, and fraud over $5,000. Out of the 32 individuals arrested, 28 were held for bail hearings. Predictably, 13 of those individuals were subsequently released on bail. Unsurprisingly, 3 are now wanted for breaching their new bail conditions. And we are working hard to locate these individuals, these bail violators. This investigation required the coordinated efforts of over 130 tactical support officers from across the province to execute 20 search warrants within Durham Region, making it the largest tactical operation in Durham Regional Police Service's history. Project Burton led to the seizure of 16 firearms, including 12 handguns, 1 rifle, 1 .22 caliber carbine semi-automatic rifle, 2 shotguns. In addition, 7 prohibited devices were confiscated, including 6 extended magazines, a 50-round drum magazine, and an auto sear selector switch capable of converting a handgun into a fully automatic weapon. The project also led to the seizure of approximately 1 kilogram of cocaine and 1 kilogram of fentanyl and approximately $80,000 in Canadian currency. Investigators have determined that 8 of the handguns came from the US and were illegally smuggled into Canada. 1 of the handguns had the serial number removed. The investigation continues with warrants out for 2 individuals who we allege are involved in firearms trafficking. 23-year-old Isaiah Bailey Benjamin of Oshawa is wanted for 9 offenses, including unauthorized possession of a firearm and weapons trafficking. And 19-year-old Sebastian Johnson, also from Oshawa, is wanted for 17 offenses, including possession of firearms obtained by crime and possession of a loaded firearm. Our message is clear. Gun and gang activity and the possession of illegal firearms will not be tolerated in Durham Region. We will be relentless in our efforts to identify and arrest those engaged in these and all criminal activities which threatens our communities. But we cannot do this alone. I urge anyone with information on the location of these outstanding suspects to please come forward. And to our community, I ask that if you see something, say something. Report suspicious activity, and let's work together to keep our neighborhoods free from the threat of gun violence. I appreciate your attendance today. Thank you.
Now we'll take some time to field any questions you may have for the chief or for the lead detective on this project.
Chief, I have a question. You mentioned when you were talking about the bail court, predictably 13 got out. You made that point specific predictably, and 3 reached their bail. How frustrating is that after all the hard work?
23% of everybody we arrest for a firearms-related offense is already out on a firearms bail. We're not the only jurisdiction facing this. I think every police leader has spoken about this. And, you know, this poses not only constraints on police services that already have a finite number of resources and are stretched already when we've already accomplished things, but it adds more pressure, and it adds more pressure to the entire justice system. And so I said this because this is our reality here within our jurisdiction and something that we continue to face.
Chief, can you talk about the number of guns that your officers have recovered? Like you said, 400 since 2022. That's
It's over 420.
over 420. Are the vast majority of them coming in from the United States? And does it just seem like there's an endless supply? So as your officers find one person or find one weapon,
Yeah.
but there's just more coming in?
Yeah, all crime guns in the province are traced. It's a requirement. And, you know, we're seeing the vast majority of them coming in from the U.S. And, you know, our neighbors to the south are an unlimited supply of firearms, it seems. And we continue to see them being used here.
Can you talk about some of the crime stats? We heard from York's chief just a couple of days ago where he said it feels like the city of Toronto is coming to York region. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's happening here in Durham as well?
Yes, 62% increase in shootings in our region. We are seeing our crime stats also hitting new records. In addition to that, we continue to face pressures on some of the judicial responsibilities we have to provide things like disclosure in a timely fashion. All of these things continue to pressure a system that's already, you know, at its max. And it prevents us as well from engaging in proactive calls when our calls for service are going up. These things aren't unique to the Durham Regional Police Service. I speak with my GTA partners, the chiefs, and everyone is facing the same thing. You know, response times continue to increase, proactive time keeps going down. The fact that, you know, 17 of our firearms that we've seized this year have been from our frontline officers, you know, those stats should actually be much higher, but, you know, officers are obviously stretched, and it adds pressure to the system. All of this to say that there is illegal activity that is happening in our communities. The borders mean nothing to the criminal element, and our group here that we're talking about, although based in Durham region, stretch right across Canada into British Columbia. And so, you know, our search for these individuals that are outstanding also is taking us across Canada.
Talk about some of the gang activity you're seeing here in Durham, and specifically because, like you said, this group was specifically focused in Oshawa and surrounding areas. Mm-hmm. Are you seeing an increase of gang activity in Durham specifically?
Well, we're seeing an increase in the number of crimes that, you know, people usually affiliated with gangs are committing. You know, the organization of these groups can be fluid from time to time. And I'd hate to leave the impression with anyone that I'm talking specifically about, you know, gang crime. Any crime that involves a firearm is obviously of concern. We've seen an increase in the number of robberies and other things with firearms. You know, knives continue to plague us as well, and we see an increase in the number of calls that we're attending where knives are being used. All of these things are trending up, and you know, the reality is that an individual who's maybe involved in this criminal lifestyle can commit a crime. Oftentimes it's an emotional response to something that has happened, and it, you know, not always has something to do with furthering the gang activity. But the fact that these weapons are present and available to these individuals endangers everyone in the community.